Alright guys, welcome back to another video. In this one, what we're going to go over today is how you can start off and sign your first client within 30 days. So I'm not just going to tell you, you've got to talk to more businesses and you got to do this and that. What I'm going to actually do in this video is kind of give you a walkthrough of the numbers, right? So how many emails you got to send, how many calls you got to do, how many DMs or messages you got to send till you get your first client. We're going to walk through that so you can actually see it in your head, and it's not just this weird unattainable goal that you're trying to chase, but it's a very data-driven goal and you know exactly what you got to do to get there. If you're like me, this kind of thing will help you out immensely. So I personally hate when I set a big lofty goal and then I forget to break it down into the day-to-day actions and like how much things I've actually got to do to get there. So that's what I'm hoping with this video, is that this will help you have that sort of roadmap and have that sort of plan, so you know the numbers and you know what you've got to do to actually get your first client in 30 days. So before we jump into the numbers and all of that, there's two really important things that are going to hold you back like no other thing if you let them. So the first thing is that you've got to master your mindset. Your mindset is essentially you in your mind knowing that you can achieve this and fully believing that you can achieve the goals that you set out for yourself. If you don't fully believe that you can achieve the goal you set out for yourself, and you don't fully believe that you can sign your first client in 30 days, you're probably not going to sign your first client in 30 days. The mind works in crazy ways, but all I know is that the more you can believe that you can achieve something, the more you're going to work at it, the more you're going to put in effort, and the more chance you're actually going to have at getting that goal and achieving that goal. So that's the first thing. You've got to believe, I can achieve this, I can sign a client, and I can sign a client in 30 days. The second thing is that you've got to have discipline, right? So discipline in this case is that you can show up every single day, even on the days where you wake up, you're a bit tired and you're not really feeling it today, right? So discipline is having that ability to get up, to do it, and to just get it done every single day. So obviously what you want to do is with your daily schedule and with your kind of daily targets for running a social media marketing agency, you've got to set them realistic, right? There's no point saying to yourself, I'm going to work 12 hours a day, because on those days when you don't have a load of motivation and you're not really feeling it, you're not going to do 12 hours. You're going to be kidding yourself if you think you are. So you've got to set, realistic goals. So even if it's, hey, look, on my bad days and the days where I'm not really feeling it, I'm going to at least do 3 hours. I'm going to do at least 2 or 4 hours, whatever that number is for you, but something that you know you can push past and you can do, and then you can just enjoy your day after that. And as I've mentioned in tons of other videos, the two biggest activities that are going to help you actually get clients are outreach and sales, right? So those are the two things that I always focus on with people, because the rest of the activities that you might look at are really just unnecessary when you're trying to get your first client. You don't need any fancy website. You don't need any crazy project management system. You just need to talk to more businesses, and you got to have more of those phone conversations where you have more potential of actually closing deals and signing your first client. So before we hop into my laptop where we're going to run over the numbers, keep that in mind. You've got to have those two activities happening every single day, outreach and sales. And how you're going to do that is with your mindset, knowing that you can achieve this and fully believing it. And secondly, having that discipline to show up every single day. All right, guys, so we are inside my laptop now, and I've got these two little models here created for you. Now, before you look at these and say, what the hell is going on? Let me just blow this up a bit, make it a bit bigger, and explain to you what is going on here, okay? So on this side here, we've got a realistic model, right? A realistic model of based on what I find to be true in terms of, when you send a DM, how many people will respond to you? And when you send emails, how many people will respond to you? Based on that, we've got kind of some figures here that we're going to work towards, showing you how to get your one client, you got to do this amount of calls, this amount of emails, and this amount of direct messages. Okay. Now on the on the right hand side, we've got a worst case scenario model. What this means is that these numbers here, basically the response rate that you're getting from every message you send or every call you do is a lot lower than previously, right? The reason we're doing this here is because there's going to be times where you're not going to have this success. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to follow a more pessimistic model. So as you can see here on the worst case model, if you look at the DMs and how many daily DMs you've got to send over a month, it's 33. And if you look at the DMs on the realistic model, it's actually only 2 or 2.5, okay? So the benefits of following this model is that you're going to put in this extra work and you may have actually signing 3, 4, or even 5 clients instead of just the one. So if you work off this, you're going to have crazy good results. If you work off this, you're still probably going to have results. But to be on the safe side, go for this, okay? So let's just work through these really quick. On the realistic model, we've got a 50% response rate for your DMs, meaning that every person you message, you're going to get half of them replying to you, okay? On your emails, you're going to get a 10% response rate, meaning that every email you send, you're going to get roughly 10 of them responding to you. And then with calls, we're working off a 30% close rate or response rate, meaning that every 10 calls you have, you're going to be able to close 3 of them and sign 3 clients, okay? So basically what I've done here is I've put in our number of clients we want, which is 1, and that's given us a calculation here that we need to do 3 calls. If our call close rate is 30%, we need to do 3 calls to get 1 client. Okay, so that comes out to like 0.1 calls a day over a 30-day period. So that's nothing. If you look at the emails then, we're looking at about 33 emails that we've got to send, and we've got to go for, broken down into each day, we're looking at like 1 to 2 emails a day. Now looking at the DMs here, we're looking at a 50% response rate, which is giving us about 67 DMs, so roughly 2 to 2.5 per day. Now again, I want to just stress that when you start this off yourself, you're probably not going to get these results. These are more typical for myself or someone who's been doing this for a while. So when you're starting off, like I mentioned, you want to work off of this worst case scenario model, okay? But I think you can pretty clearly see here that that's not too bad, right? 1 client and I'm going to do basically 70 DMs in a month. Not too bad. Now, if we look at this, obviously the numbers are a lot higher, okay? So again, 1 client, we're going to have to do 10 calls based on the fact that we're going to close 1 in every 10. That comes out to not even 1 a day, so like 1 every 3 days, okay? If we look at then the emails here, we're looking at a 5% response rate, and this means that we're going to have to send about 200 emails, which is about 6.5 per day. And looking at the DMs then, if we're going for a very low 20% response rate, which again is quite low, you're looking at 1,000 DMs over the 30 days, which again is only actually 33 DMs per day. Like if you are copy and pasting 33 DMs, that's not going to take you a huge amount of time every single day. So even if you follow this model, it's still not crazy amount of work. 1 client, 10 calls, 200 emails, and 1,000 DMs, okay? I think, you can do this no problem. The biggest thing that's going to hold you back with these is just if you actually do it, right? Like, will you show up every day and do this? Will you send that amount of DMs every day? Will you do this many emails? And will you do this many calls? Those are the things that are going to really hold you back. As you can see, if you're to calculate this in like hours spent, it's not a whole lot of time. Let's say it takes you 1 minute for every email, right? Like if you're looking at 1 minute per email, you're basically just taking 33 a day times the 1 minute, 33 minutes per day on emails. Like that's not too bad. So let's say every DM takes you 1 minute. That means that you're looking at 33 minutes spent on sending DMs every day, right? So not even, just about half an hour a day. If you look at the emails, you're sending 6.5 per day. Let's say that it takes you 2 minutes, a little bit extra for the emails. We're just going to take now this times this. So you're looking at 13 minutes on the emails, right? So we're only up to like 46 minutes now. And then lastly, if we look at the calls, you've got to do a third of a call a day. Let's say each call takes you 30 minutes, right? That's going to basically say that each day you're going to spend roughly 10 minutes on calls. So, realistically, what you're looking at here is a total of not even an hour a day, literally an hour a day to get a client in 30 days. Would you do that? I definitely would. That is a complete good use of my time. I would happily do 2, 3, 4 hours a day and get a client in 30 days, because then I know I can do it and I'll just repeat that and do that over and over again. So as you can see, look guys, this is very realistic. I'm not going to say it's very easy to get a client in 30 days, because obviously you're going to have to do some work such as, changing up your DMs, trying a different email sequence, trying a different approach in your calls. But if you follow this very, very quickly, you can see that that's very attainable. And I think anyone in their logical mind thinks that they can spend 60 minutes a day and do that. Now, I understand that a big concern for most people is that they don't know what to actually say when they have to send DMs, they don't know what to say in their emails, they don't know what to say on their calls. So in order to kind of get past that, I actually put together my 6-figure roadmap, which if you're on the channel already, you've probably seen before. If you're new to the channel, it's basically a guide in which I document how I took my agency from 0 to 6 figures in about 45 days. And in there, I've got a bunch of DM templates, email templates, and even like templates for what you got to be saying on your calls, and some advice on how to have better sales calls and all of that. So if you want to check that out, link is in the description to that. Check it out. There's a discount code down there for you as well. And yeah, it's definitely going to speed up your process and help you just get your first client a lot quicker. And we're going to wrap the video up there, guys. As always, guys, hit the like button and obviously smash the subscribe button if you are new to the channel. And yeah, let me know if you want any new videos made. Let me know in the comments below what kind of topics you're looking for, and I will do my best to get them covered for you.